Today I thought we'd talk about the hands of a clock. Hands of a clock, you think? What can that have to do with the martial arts? Well, I had one of my students come to me not so long ago. They've been training with me for quite a long time and say, Steve, I just don't feel that I'm improving. And I look at them and I think, if I could have videoed you when you first come into the dojo and filmed you now, you would see a considerable difference. But the thing is, your improvement sometimes, it's a little bit like the hands of a clock. You know, the time moves on and the hands of a clock move, but you kind of never see them moving and you never see your improvement. And when you think about it, who's the worst person to judge whether you're improving? You. Because what happens is I teach something, and when you've been taught it, you realise that you can't do it. So you struggle and you think, oh, this is really bad. You know, I can't do this. And you practice and practice and practice. And then when you can do it, you think, fantastic. I feel really good now. I feel like I've really got somewhere. And then I teach you the next bit. And then it's, God, I can't do that. I'm really bad again. But when you think about it, when are you improving most? The funny thing is, when you feel good, you've learned something, and you're kind of in a rest period. When you're really learning is when you feel bad. And the thing is, overall, you've got to look at a long-term improvement. And of course, a long-term improvement means you don't see yourself changing. Just like you don't see the hands of the clock moving, so you don't see yourself changing. So sometimes it's difficult. The instructor gives the feedback and says, yes, of course you're improving. And the student inevitably walks away thinking, oh, I don't know, I don't feel like I am. And when you're a beginner, the change is quite fast. You have some bad days and you have some good days. When you're a mid-term student, you have good months and bad months. When you're a senior student, you have good years and bad years. But the more senior you get, the more wise you become. When you're having a bad time, you know you're learning most. You're actually doing best. And you also know the good time's just around the corner. And the more subtle the teaching is, the more difficult it becomes to grasp. And often you can grasp it in your mind, but to own it with your body is an entirely different thing. So what I'm saying to you is, you need an element of faith in your instructor. You need the wisdom to understand when you're improving. And often when it hurts, when you're finding it difficult, that's when you're learning most.